Hello, my friends. We're about to burn down the forest. What does that mean? I want you to think of the problems you're facing in your life. I want you to think of each of those as a giant tree. When people come to see me in therapy, they come with all these different problems. And in traditional therapy, it's like we take an axe to that one tree, and sometimes we break through it, and other times we don't. And they come back the next week, and all of a sudden they want to talk about this other tree in the forest. And we take an axe to that, and we try to break through it. What a lot of people end up having is a forest of problems where a little bit of work has been done, but they've not made true progress. Rise Week burns down the forest. 4 days, more powerful than a year of therapy. The reason for this is when we work hard all in one spot, it magnifies our efforts. Now at Rise Week we spend 4 full days, close to 50 hours, creating a shift. We get to the core of your issues, the underlying things. We don't go after the branches, we don't try to just hack at the top, we go after the roots. Now men that come to Rise Week are courageous. They've faced some hard battles, and to be honest, many of them are losing or have lost in the past. But one of the things that impresses me about the men that come to Rise Week is they're willing to invest in themselves. They're saying, I feel beaten down. I don't want to be beaten anymore. I want to gather my strength. And the miraculous thing I see in the course of those 4 days is men who come in believing that they're not good enough, that they're not lovable, that they're broken, that they're just addicts or whatever. They leave with confidence that they can go home and become the men they are meant to be. They can repair their relationship with their wife and with their kids. They can change the course of their finances, their spirituality. They can increase intimacy, emotional, spiritual, sexual. Now, I'm not claiming to have a magic trick here. It's not a magic trick. Rise Week works because it's an intensive experience that focuses on waking up those core masculine things that are inside. Now, I've had an opportunity as a therapist for the past 10 years to sit with men and women as they describe the difficulties they face. Horrific traumas, deep, deep addictions, betrayals, lies, death of children, death of parents, car accidents, war crimes, horrific things from war, really big relationship or financial challenges, children with chronic illnesses, cancer, you name it. Honestly, at this point, people don't come in my office and surprise me. What I've seen is humans have the ability to heal. And to be honest, it doesn't have to be a long, long journey. Now, I used to spend time as a therapist where I'd be people's therapist for several years at times. His therapist, her therapist, couples therapist, trauma therapist, addiction therapist, all these different things. And I started to realize there's a better way. The reason I began to realize this is because I've been on my own journey of healing. I had to take a deep look at the things from my childhood that affected me. I had to look at my own addictions. I had to look at the damage I'd created in my marriage. And I had to look at where was I and where do I want to be. Now, a lot of men are running. They're running from the monster that always seems to catch up to them. I did that for a long time too. And one day I decided I'm going to turn back and I'm going to face that monster. I'm going to confront it and I'm going to beat it. Now, the way that I and a lot of men in the Rise Brotherhood live is we're not running from some monster because we're not afraid of it. What we're doing is we're climbing a mountain. We're climbing a mountain to where we want to be. And a lot of us are living at the top. We did the work to get to the top. We're where we want to be as men. We've overcome our issues, our addictions, our anger, our anxiety, our fear. We've repaired our wives' hearts. We've created trust. We've created safety. We know how to meet her needs and we know how to get our needs met. We've learned to open up, to be honest, to be vulnerable. And we know how to get in tune with our children's needs, to be their friend and to lead them with love. We know how to instill in them self-confidence and courage. We spend time with them, not because we have to, but because we want to. We're invested in our lives. And we're looking to the future knowing that there's ever expanding potential for us. Wherever you are, my friend, I invite you to fill out the application and have a conversation with me. I'm not a salesman. I'm not going to pressure you. I'm a therapist. If you are ready to make changes, RiseWake is the place to do it. You need to understand that there's not many places I haven't been in the therapeutic world. I saw 8 therapists. I've done all sorts of trainings trying to learn how do I help men and women and families in a more effective way. And what I can tell you is RiseWeek cannot be rivaled. Now, I don't want to pretend that that's all the work you'll have to do. In many ways, RiseWeek gets you out of the hole, sending you home, knowing that there's a mountain to climb, but having the confidence and new capabilities that finally you can walk up the path. No longer looking back, no longer going back into the caves of life. One of the most amazing things I see is when husband and wife who have been disconnected, where their relationship has been the challenge. When husband and wife are able to come together and face life's challenges together and no longer be pulled apart by those difficulties that we all face. If this is appealing to you, again, I invite you to fill out the application. Let's get on the phone together. Let's talk about where you are, but more importantly, let's discuss where you're committed to go. I promise you that I and the men that work with me and the other men that come to RiseWeek with you will surprise you at how they see your strength. They'll surprise you in the way that they'll be able to see something different inside you that you can't see in yourself. And our goal is for you to go home, no longer in shame, no longer worried, when am I going to suck again? You may fall down at times, my friends, but it's our commitment to rise back up again and again, gaining strength. No longer being stuck with numbing, escaping, running away. It's time to face the challenges you have and overcome them so you don't have to keep struggling with the same struggles. Now, some of you have been taught that people can't change. Maybe you have some personality disorder, once an addict, always an addict, or once a cheater, always a cheater, or all these nonsense things that I hear. I'm going to speak to you spiritually for a minute. I believe in healing. I believe in change. I believe that God created a way for men to overcome, to become new again. Many of your challenges that you face, they weren't because you're bad or unlovable. I want you to think about, if you have children, I want you to think about that young, baby, that little boy or little girl. Are they bad? Do they come into the world bad? Do they come into the world unlovable? You were that child, and somewhere along the way, some things happened to you. You started to develop some beliefs about yourself, and you made some mistakes. You started to believe more things about yourself. And maybe you got stuck in some behaviors, or maybe you've been stuck in some emotions for a long time, depression, anxiety. Those things are not you, and they do not define you. You're still as whole and perfect as any little child that comes into the world. Many of you are going, I don't believe that. Look at me, I'm flawed, I'm broken. You're not broken, my friend. You're lost a little bit, perhaps. The world has a way of causing us to forget who we really are. There is a warrior inside you. There is a man who is meant to be a king and lead his wife and children with love. I see it all the time. Men come in with their head bowed, feeling defeated, and they leave with confidence. I can do this. I invite you to fill out the application. Let's get on a call. And let's see what we can do to get you to RiseWeek, and more importantly, to get your life back. Now, we've created a very special offer because we want you to get what you need and not have to take years to do it and spend tens of thousands of dollars. I remember early in my healing, starting in, I think, 2011, for 3.5 years, my wife and I drove from Las Vegas to St. George. It was a 2-hour trip each way. Every week we drove to St. George and back for 3.5 years for therapy. There was a lot of good there, a lot of help there, but it didn't give me all that I needed. I continued to seek out different ways to heal on a deeper level. And I won't go through all those right now, but what I can tell you is in my own journey and in my journey as a therapist, I've sought out the most effective ways to help people change and grow and overcome. And I'm excited, honestly. I'm excited to talk with you. I'm excited to see how I can help. Excited to talk how Rise Week can change your life and transform you into the man you are always meant to be. Here we do not fear your struggles. We're not afraid of your addiction. We're not afraid of your past. We're not afraid of your childhood. We're not afraid of where your marriage is. One of the coolest things that a lot of men really love is I have a conversation with your wife and I get to know exactly what she needs to feel safe, to feel trust, to want to connect with you. I've spent thousands of hours with wives, and they've taught me that the very best way to help them is not just me as a therapist, but if I can help their husbands confidently come home striving to be a source of that healing. I know you love her. I know you care about her. You may be mad at her. You may be hurt by her. But I know you love her, and I know she's worth fighting for. I believe you're worth fighting for. So Rise Week is not like any other therapy. What you get here is people who are willing to fight with you. Not this kind of fight you, right? But fight for you. They see your goodness, they see your strength, and they won't let you forget what you're capable of. Get on the phone, my friend. Fill out the application. Let's get on the phone. Let's have a conversation. One of the things I failed to mention, if we discounted this immensely, the men who came to Rise Week last year spent, depending on the package, between $3,000 to $5,000. This offer is special for you. We're offering Rise Week for $1,000. Now, if you took 50 hours, is what it would cost to, be the equivalent of Rise Week. If you spread that out into normal therapy, 50 sessions, I charge $200 a session. Right? You look at the math on that versus these 50 hours condensed into 4 days that are more powerful than spreading it out over a year. It's a no-brainer. The goal here is for you to heal. I hope that you can sense that we care about you and we see something in you. Even though I don't know you, I know what's in there. We see something in you that can change everything. Looking forward to speaking with you, my brother.